Shalom my friends, hi, this is Jerusalem Jane making a video going out to all my followers on all my social media. I'm still sitting here, third week in a row in my wheelchair, not out and about reporting. It's just the way it is right now. There's not much I can do about it. But if you follow me on my Facebook page called Israel One Nation, you saw yesterday that I made a live broadcast with a good friend of mine, Ari, where we were talking about the current events here in Israel, mainly Donald Trump pulling out of the Iranian deal, what that means to Israel, the whole Middle East, and of course how Israel was attacked by Iranian forces in Syria and how Israel responded in the most massive, biggest retaliation in many years. We also spoke about the embassy move from America on Monday from Tel Aviv to Israel's capital, Jerusalem. So if you haven't seen that broadcast, I want to encourage you to go on my page, Israel One Nation on Facebook, and watch that live broadcast. Like I said, it's been interesting, and when a sovereign nation like Israel is being attacked by a foreign army, the Iranian army, Israel has no choice but to respond. Barely did Donald Trump give the message that we are pulling out of the Iranian deal before Benjamin Netanyahu was on a plane, actually not going on vacation in some tropical islands, but he flew off to Russia, to Moscow, where he met with Vladimir Putin, and he barely made it back to Israel before the Al-Quds guard of the Iranian army stationed in Syria sent 20 rockets into Israel. The Iron Dome caught 4 of these rockets, and we can only say thank you God that nobody was injured. There was no casualties. About 2 hours later, the Israeli Air Force went up, and they went in and they destroyed numerous Iranian intelligence sites, weapon depots, many different Iranian sites in Syria. Several Israeli airplanes was on call and was bombing, and we can only say thank you very much for doing what needs to be done. Thank you for the countries that went out and stood in an agreement with Israel, saying that the aggression from Iran towards Israel is not acceptable, and we stand Israel behind Israel's right to defend herself. So of course this is very serious, and the people living in the Golan Heights was actually for a brief period of time in bomb shelters in the Golan Heights. Things has calmed down a little bit now. Things are back to normal. People are living in everyday normal life in the Golan Heights. Tourists are flocking to the Golan Heights. And it's very important for me to say, I want to end this video by saying, if you have plans to come to Israel, do not dare to cancel your trip. It is still absolutely perfectly safe to come to Israel, and especially for such a time as this, it's important for you to come and show the Jewish people you are not running away with the tail between your legs like a scared cat or something, but that you, especially in a time like this, are saying there's been no more important time to travel to Israel and to stand with the Jewish people and say we are not just talking, but we are actually putting action behind our talk about standing with Israel. Don't be afraid to come to Israel. I have a lot of friends actually in Israel right now from America traveling in the Golan Heights, and they're having a wonderful time. It's a beautiful area here in Israel. Then of course on Sunday it's going to be Jerusalem Day, huge massive day of celebration, the reunification of the Jewish capital. Jerusalem was united after being separated, divided for 2,000 years. So this is the day of prophecy where people are going to come home and they're going to be celebrating and they're going to be dancing in the streets of Zion. We are living in prophetic times, and it's just remarkable. So if you are in Israel, be sure to come to Jerusalem on Sunday, where we are going to celebrate the reunification of the Jewish capital. And then of course the next day is the move of the US Embassy. 250 people are coming in from America. Jared Kushner, Ivanka Trump, huge VIP delegations, and we welcome all of you. Thank you for moving your embassy to Jerusalem. Thank you for doing the only right thing. So of course that's going to be a big celebration, and that's why if you're here in Jerusalem and you wonder why is there so many American flags, it's because we want to say thank you, Donald Trump. Thank you for having the guts to do what is right. Thank you for having the guts to do what no other president has done in the history of America, and that is to move the embassy to Jerusalem, which has been Israel's capital for 3,000 years. So yeah, it's going to be a great week here in the Jewish state. It's going to be a week of celebrations, and that is just, I mean, I'm privileged and I'm honored to be here in Israel. The only thing is, still in a wheelchair, so I can't be out and about to report from all of these things. I want to say thank you for your love and your support for me in this time. Of course, it's irritating and it's frustrating to be set aside in a wheelchair and not being able to be out and taking part of all of these celebrations. But there's nothing much I can do about it, so I'm just still honored and blessed to be here in Israel. So from my house here in Jerusalem, Shabbat Shalom to Israel and to all the Jewish people around the world. Shabbat Shalom to all the friends of Israel who is standing in the gap for the Jewish people for such a time as this. Mwah. Kiss, love, and hugs from Jerusalem, Jane, to all my followers on Instagram, YouTube, my page on Facebook called Israel One Nation, my Twitter account, and everybody following me on my private Facebook also. I'm grateful, grateful, grateful for each and every one of you. Bye. Shabbat Shalom.